Hey, I'm Steve Krenz for Guitar Gathering. Thank you for joining us on this quick lesson on the 7 top finger patterns for guitar. It doesn't matter whether you play with a pick or you're doing fingerstyle. Everybody needs to learn, at least have a little bit of control with your fingering and with your finger picking on this hand. So it doesn't matter what style you do. It's a good discipline as a guitar player to have that skill. Gives such a sweet sound to your playing. So in finger picking, there are certain patterns that we end up doing a lot of in guitar world. Finger patterns, usually we're talking about finger patterns over here. This time we're talking about our picking hand and our finger patterns there. So we're going to put our picks away for a second and we're going to talk about our hand and get used to these 7 top most useful patterns. Now, first of all, some ground rules. We're going to refer to our thumb as T. You're going to see that written in your PDF. There is a PDF that goes along with this. It's all free. You can download that at the link in the YouTube description down below. I would encourage you to do that. You can follow along with the lesson a whole lot better. The thumb, we're going to refer to that as T, okay? You just take the first initial there. Our index finger, we're going to refer to that as number 1. Our middle finger that's going to be number 2. Our ring finger, that's going to be number 3. So we're going to refer to these fingers that are picking in that order. Thumb, 1, 2, and 3. All right, so let's get these going first of all. Now the thumb, his territory is going to be on the 6th, the 5th, and the 4th string. So he's going to pretty much hang out on the 6th, 5th, and 4th string. Our other fingers, 1, 2, and 3, they're going to hang out in one of either 2 places. Okay, the first place we're going to put him on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd string. So your index finger would be on the 3rd string, your middle finger would be on the 2nd string, and your ring finger would be on the 3rd string. So thumb is going to cover anything that happens on the 6th, 5th, and 4th. These fingers are going to cover anything that happens on the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. Now, we're going to refer to that when they are on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd strings. We're going to refer to that as the outside strings because they're kind of on the outside of our strings. If you move them into the 4th, the 3rd, and the 2nd, that's going to be referred to as the inside strings. So we're going to refer to those as the outside strings when they're on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and the inside strings when they're on 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So that's our ground rules to get us started on these 7 patterns. All right, now I'm not just making this up. I play guitar for a living. I do fingerstyle for a living. So these are patterns that you're going to see an awful lot. And you can boil a lot of fingerstyle and finger picking playing down to these 4 foundational, fundamental patterns. So it's not in basketball, it's not the trick shot that'll win the game. It's getting really good, anybody will tell you, at the fundamentals, getting exceptionally good at that, and that's what this is about. Take a look at the first pattern of our 7. It's a simple thumb, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to give you a simple progression. This is a C, an A minor 7th, an F major 7th, and then a G. So those are the 4 chords we're using. Now, I chose those because you have 2 of them that are with the root on the 5th string. Then I have one with the root on the 4th string, one with the root on the 6th string. So I'm deliberately jumping around these roots. So with this first finger pattern, thumb, 1, 2, 3, we're going to do, it's written there in the music and the tab notation, and then you'll also see the fingering notation, thumb, 1, 2, and 3. So the first one would go something like this. This is a thumb 1, 2, 3 pattern. 1, 2, 3, thumb. 1, 2, 3, thumb. 1, 2, 3, thumb. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's look at what's happening. Thumb is starts out on the 5th string, goes to the 4th, then goes to the 6th, just like we said. The upper 3 strings, those are going to be what we call the outside strings. I want to be slow and steady. You want to let all of them ring together. Now, if you haven't done fingerstyle before, that's going to be challenging, just getting those to cooperate. But I encourage you, don't give up after the first 5 minutes. It takes a day or two of kind of working with it to get these fingers to do what your brain is telling them to do. But once you do it, then it gets better rather quickly. So a lot of folks just give up on it too early. Now, we've had these on the outside strings, but you can also play this with these top 3 fingers being on the inside strings. So I'm going to play this same exercise, thumb 1, 2, 3, but instead of me playing with these 1, 2, and 3 fingers being on the outside, I'm going to have them on the inside strings. And that sounds like this. Thumb, 1, 2, 3, thumb. Now, freeze right here. It's a 4-note chord, so I don't really have the option. I've got to switch that F major 7th. He's got to go to the outside strings. There's just no other way to do it and get all 4 strings in there. So there's just one note you have to keep in mind. But then I can go on the G, I can go back to my inside strings. A rather simple pattern, but the trick is playing it slow, playing it steady. Work with a metronome if you need to. That's going to help you. Okay, look at the next one. Flip over the page. Let's look at pattern number 2. This will be the second pattern. Now, this is just the inverse of that. So we're going to still hit the thumb where it needs to be, but instead of going 1, 2, 3, we're going to go 3, 2, 1. Same chords, same everything. Let's just hear how that one sounds. This is pattern number 2. Or sorry, here we go. 3, 2, 1. There you go. Thumb, 3, 2, 1. Thumb, 3, 2, 1. Thumb, 3, 2, 1. Now, just because this sounds simple, oh, Steve, this is way too easy for me. Hey, it's the same pattern when you speed it up. So it's still the same pattern. So the focus on learning the pattern and getting that nice and comfortable. Once you get the pattern down, then the speed comes. Take a look at the next one. We've done thumb 1, 2, 3. We've done thumb 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to do thumb 2, 1, 3. Thumb 2, 1, 3. Let's hear how that one sounds. This is pattern number 3. Back on the outside strings. Thumb 2, 1, 3. So do you see how each finger has its own territory? 2, 1, 3. This is the outside strings again. Thumb 2, 1, 3. Thumb 2, 1, 3. There you go. And again, don't get the pattern down first. Then you can speed it up. But all of this, thumb 2, 1, 3, thumb 2, 1, 3, thumb 2, 1, 3, thumb 2, 1, 3, thumb 2. It's the same pattern. All of that, it's the same pattern. So work on that pattern, getting the pattern down solid. Okay, we've done it on the outside strings. Can you do it on the inside strings? Thumb 2, 1, 3. That F, remember, he can only go up to the outside strings. And then we're back to the inside strings. See how it's a completely different sound when you do the outside or the inside strings. All right, take a look at the next one, pattern number 4. All right, this is kind of a figure 8 pattern. We're going to do a thumb and middle. That's all we're using, thumb and middle. Thumb and middle. And so this pattern sounds something like this. It's the same notes as actually pattern 3, but I'm just playing them with a different finger combination. So look what's happening. I'm only using my thumb, and I'm only using my middle finger. We'll try and get a shot of this. Each of these fingers is covering 2 different strings. Thumb is going to cover 5th and 4th. The middle finger, your number 2, he's going to cover the 2nd and the 1st string. So you end up with this. Thumb, middle, thumb, middle. Actually, thumb is covering the 5th string and the 3rd string in this pattern. But he's alternating, so see how he's alternating, and the upper ones are alternating. But Steve, why would you want to do that when the pattern number 3 is the same notes? Here's why. On this figure 8 pattern, I can get that going really fast, much faster than I could the thumb 2-1-3 pattern. So I can speed this one up. Let's say I doubled each measure. Okay, so I can get that particular pattern fast. So when you need to do something fast, it's kind of you're rocking back and forth between these two, the upper notes and the lower notes. But since you're going just between 2 fingers, for some reason I can get that a lot faster. But each finger is covering 2 different strings. And it kind of forms a figure 8. So your hand is kind of going dum, da, dum, da. You're kind of getting a little bit of a figure 8 pattern. That's a good one to know. That's a good one to know. Take a look at the next one. Pattern number 5. All right, so let's add some double notes now. Let's get some double notes. Now, again, I could give you a million patterns. That's not the idea. The idea is that I'm giving you the most important ones that you're going to see an awful lot in your guitar playing life, and that is these. So here comes the 5th one that you need to know. Look what's happening here. I hit the outside 2 notes, the lowest note and the highest note. And then I'm going to hit the inner notes, and I'm just going to arpeggiate those. So I hit thumb and 3rd finger, and then I'm going to arpeggiate the inner notes. 1, 2, 1. So that's my pattern. A lot of times when you're playing melodies, when you're doing a little bit of a fingerstyle arrangement, you're going to need that concept, where the root and the melody note are hitting at the same time, and then you just arpeggiate in between them. 1, 2, 1. And again, you can still do it with the inside strings. Let's switch at the inside strings. Now my highest note is not going to be this high E, it's going to be this high C on the 2nd string. But it switches the others too, so now my index finger is going to be playing the 4th string, my middle finger is going to be playing the 3rd string. Now, here's that problematic F major 7th. You got to switch everything up to do this. Hear how you can get two completely different sounds by playing on the outside or the inside strings. It's a good rule when you're accompanying somebody. If you're playing on the outside strings and it just sounds too high, sometimes that'll be in the range of the vocalist. So just play the inside strings and it'll automatically register down. Don't need to do a thing different with your fretting hand. It's all in your picking. Take a look at number 6. This one is tied to the same thing as number 5. We're just going to flip those arpeggiated notes that are accompanied. So you hit the outside ones, the C and the E, and then, so instead of going thumb and 3 and then 1, 2, 1, now I'm going thumb and 3 and then 2, 1, 2. Okay? Sometimes you're going to need to ascend after that. Sometimes you're going to need to descend after that. So that's why these two go hand in hand. So this would be pattern number 6. Okay, you have 1, 2, 1, like pattern number 5, or pattern number 6, where it's 2, 1, 2. Now I know I'm throwing a lot of numbers at you, throwing a lot of different combinations, and it's easy to listen to. I would encourage you to grab your guitar. When we do the workout here for our next lesson on this, I would encourage you to grab your guitar and play along with this. Playing a pattern doesn't make you an expert at it. Tossing a basketball and making the shot one time doesn't make me an expert at it. Okay, it's where I can do it consistently in any type of situation, over any chord, that's when I actually know the pattern. So just playing the pattern doesn't win the battle. Don't kid yourself thinking, oh, I played the pattern twice, I'll go on to the next one. No, play it in different chords. Play it in different, get with a metronome, see if you can speed it up and slow it down, that sort of thing. All right, hey, take a look at the last one here. This is a big one. This is kind of an alternating bass. We have pattern 7. All right, here's the deal. This is another common pattern you're going to see a lot. It's kind of a Merle Travis picking sort of a pattern. So we still have our same chords, and I'm going to hit my thumb on the root note here, and then all after that I'm going to hit just 1, 2, and 3. Now I can do that with just the roots. Okay, but a way that we can adjust this is we're going to make the thumb play an alternating bass pattern. Now he's going between the root of each chord and the 5th of each chord. Now it's a little bit of a game because the roots and 5ths are always changing places. So over a C chord, the C is the root, G is the 5th, so I would go. So now instead of the upper fingers moving places, now it's the thumb that's moving places. Okay, so the root being on the 5th string, the 5th being on the 6th string. Beneath it, kind of like a tuba would be in a band. Okay, on the A minor 7th, same thing. A, that's the root. The 5th is beneath it. On the 6th string, just open. Okay, so that works out well. But what about the F? Let's go, instead of our F major 7, let's do a full F here. Well, now I've got a low F. Where's the 5th? It's above it now. So the root is on the 6th string, the C, the 5th is on the 5th string. The reason I chose these progressions is because each one of them flips a different way, so it gets your hands used to this alternating pattern that is flipping different ways. The G, what's happening here? Well, here's the G. The 5th is actually on the 4th string. Root, 5th. So now, so I chose this pattern because each of them is different. So C, beginning of it. that's how it starts. Now it can get infinitely more complex than that with the Merle Travis picking, but that's kind of where it starts. Now, that's for a pattern that's going to be in 4, basically 4/4 time. There's 4 beats per measure. Sometimes you're going to end up with a pattern that needs 3 beats per measure, or it's a triplet-based pattern. For that, I just threw a little example, same example, but I just did it in 3. So here we did kind of a triplet-based. And you just give an extra one of the chords. There you go. All right. Those are the 7 top patterns that I have found most useful in my professional playing. Play through them. Start using them with different chords. Once you get them down with the simple chords that I have here, start throwing different chords at it. We will do this in our workout, too, that we will do here in a couple of weeks. So be ready for that lesson as well. But start playing with different chord combinations as well. Start working with a metronome. I know you hate working with a metronome. Everybody hates working with a metronome. But boy, you really need to get used to an external tempo like that. It will make you a more solid player. So there are the top things. Learn all you can. We will do a workout in the next lesson. Hey, I'm Steve Krenz for Guitar Gathering. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.